Often, when I'm looking up slow cooker or crock pot recipes, what comes up are recipes that use lots of canned cream soups, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, cream of celery, those sorts of things. I'm not a huge store bought canned food person, so whenever I have to make a recipe that calls for those canned soups, I try to recreate it without that. So today, I want to share with you how you can make some slow cooker creamy recipes without any canned soups. To do this, I'm going to make a big batch of chicken bone broth, and then I'm also going to make a really big batch of what's called Béchamel or a white sauce. And I'll be using that Béchamel to thicken all of their recipes. I'll show you the Béchamel in a minute, but first, I'm making this pot of bone broth with a whole chicken that my husband smoked on his pellet grill. And when you smoke a chicken on a grill like that, the meat does take on some of that smoky flavor, but it doesn't really affect the broth. So it's really great for making broth. But you could also use any leftover chicken wing bones. If you have a rotisserie chicken, you can use that too to make a broth. I am also adding in some leftover vegetables. These are some carrots and broccoli that my daughter didn't eat from her lunch the other day. I'm also adding in 2 chicken thighs that really needed to be used up and 16 cups of water, which is kind of a lot of water for, say, a noodle soup, but I need this big batch that I'm going to use in other recipes, and those recipes have their own flavor, so I'm okay if it's a little diluted. Here I am making a creamy mac and cheese in this slow cooker. So I have some butter in the slow cooker, which I'm using the Instant Pot as a slow cooker, and I'm just melting that and then tossing some macaroni noodles in that butter. Now, of course, you don't have to use a slow cooker to make macaroni and cheese, but what I do like about making pasta in the slow cooker is it gives me time to do some other things. I had a really hectic day this day, so I needed to just extend that time a little bit for the pasta to be able to do a few other things. So it really helps with that. Then once that pasta is in there, I am adding some milk. You could make this with water, but what I like about the milk is it makes it really creamy. So that was 3 cups of macaroni noodles and 2 cups of milk. And when I look around for these slow cooker macaroni and cheese recipes in the past, they often have a can of evaporated milk in them. So by using the bechamel, which I'll show you in just a minute how to make, you don't have to use that canned evaporated milk. And then I cook that on low for an hour. One way you can make recipes creamy is by making a slurry. Often you can make a cornstarch slurry or a flour slurry. A cornstarch slurry is about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch with 1 tablespoon of cold water. And then a flour slurry is 2 tablespoons of flour to about a quarter cup of cold water or milk or broth, depending on what you want to use. And I use cornstarch and flour slurries very frequently when I cook, but the problem with this today is that I'm also using these slow cooker recipes to meal prep. So I'm making a bunch of recipes at one time, so that way I have food to eat for the rest of the week and through the weekend. So I don't want to make a bunch of slurries and different types of slurries for different recipes. Having one big pot of bechamel makes this a lot easier. And for me, it's a little more diverse and that I can use it to thicken a broth into a gravy. I can use it to thicken rice into a really creamy chicken and rice dish, which I'll show you later in this video, or even use it just to garnish a lasagna soup like I'm going to do here. It's a really big bang for your buck. While the macaroni noodles cool off a little bit, I am just starting this lasagna soup. So I put a pound of ground beef in the slow cooker, and then I chopped up about a half of an onion and threw it in there. And then I'm seasoning it with salt and pepper. Now, I would generally recommend using a lean ground beef, but I cannot get my hands on an affordable pound of lean ground beef right now. So I've just been getting the 80/20 and then I drain it. I usually just put a dirty bowl or some sort of like container that I'm about to throw away underneath of the colander to catch that fat, and then I put the drained meat and onions back into the slow cooker. But now I am just straining this broth so I can add it into the soup. So now this broth is sort of the base for a lot of these recipes, because to make a nice creamy recipe, you usually need some sort of broth or liquid combined with a thickener. So instead of doing those slurries, we're using broth and bechamel. I'm adding in 1 can of home canned tomatoes. You could definitely use store-bought tomatoes or even a jar of tomatoes tomato sauce if that's what you have, and some Italian seasoning. And then I'm cooking this on high for about 3.5 hours or so. It kind of doesn't matter. I just needed to make sure that it was ready by the time we got home from gymnastics. So 3.5 hours worked for me. But now that that is in the slow cooker, I am working finally on this bechamel. You can get this recipe over my blog at moonandmagnolia.com. That recipe is just for one batch, and I'm making like a quadruple batch here. So I have 1 stick of butter and I'm melting it and then adding in a 1/4 cup of flour and then cooking that just for a minute or so to remove that raw flour taste. One of the secrets to a really smooth bechamel is to use just slightly warm milk. Really just take the chill off of it. I just pop it in the microwave for 30 to 45 seconds, and I'm putting in 4 cups of milk total in here and then turning up the heat just so it can start to thicken. Now, if you wanted this to be thicker, you could use less milk, but I'm going for sort of like a cream of celery texture here. So I left it just like that. And now I am adding in some shredded cheese into a portion of that bechamel to make a super smooth and creamy cheese sauce for those slow cooked noodles. Once a week, I make my daughter a big batch of something that she'll eat when she's feeling picky, whether it's spaghetti or macaroni and cheese or sometimes homemade pizza. This week just happens to be macaroni and cheese. But when that happens, when I get on that mac and cheese rotation, I like to make that big pot of bechamel and use recipes like this because it's just as easy to make a quadruple batch of bechamel as it is to make a single batch. So if I'm already making that, I might as well make a bunch of it. The one thing to keep in mind about that though is that bechamel can freeze. It will separate and you kind of have to mix it together pretty hard to bring it back together. It's not amazing though. So if you are doing this for meal prep, I would make sure that you are just making the food that you are going to eat for that week. And then if you're doing freezer meals, make that bechamel when you're actually thawing, reheating, and serving that freezer meal. For the lasagna soup, once we got back from gymnastics, I just broke up some lasagna noodles, threw them right in there and let them cook, I'd say probably for 20, maybe 30 minutes, just until they were tender. And then I am putting that bechamel right on there. And you can use as much or as little as you want. Oh, and of course, a little bit of mozzarella. Cheese is also another really great way to thicken up slow cooker meals. But that bechamel makes that broth really creamy and it adds a lot of flavor. Sure, you could thicken it with the flour slurry, but that's just flour and milk, but that bechamel also has that butter in it, so it definitely adds more richness to it. I completely ran out of time on that day to do any more slow cooker recipes. So I took the bechamel and I put it in a bowl and stuck it in the fridge. And I just took the whole pot of broth and put it in the fridge and called it a night. So it is now the next day and I'm making 2 more recipes using that broth and bechamel. On the menu today, I am starting with a slow cooker pork chop with a creamy peppercorn gravy. So in that little pot, I am putting in some chicken broth, some Worcestershire sauce, peppercorn, salt, and pepper. And then I think I put in a little bit of garlic powder. You could definitely use fresh garlic, but I was feeling really tired. My daughter was up like all night the night before, so I was keeping it as absolutely simple as possible. And then once that's mixed together, just putting in some thick cut pork chops. Now, this is a different type of slow cooker. This is actually the Bruden Taylor bread proofer and slow cooker. It's collapsible. I love this thing. It uses a regular pot with a lid right inside there. I only use my Bruden Taylor proofer and slow cooker and my Instant Pot now for slow cooking because this one's collapsible and easy to store and I already have an Instant Pot, so it works out really great. So the pork chops I set on low and I'm just kind of letting them do their thing for no specific amount of time. And now I am getting a creamy chicken and rice prepared. So I took some white rice, rinsed it off, and then I'm adding in some of that chicken broth again. This used up the last of the broth, so that worked out great. And then I'm throwing in any leftover vegetables I have. So I had some leftover carrots, celery, onions. I threw that in there, and then some frozen peas. I mixed that all together, and then I just threw in 2 chicken breasts. Technically, with the pork chops and the chicken, I would have liked to had more, but I only was able to get that much at my grocery store. They've been out of everything lately. I don't know why, so I'm just using what I have. I should note that cooking rice in a slow cooker requires a little finesse, and sometimes you do have to check on it. It's not quite as set it and forget it as other types of slow cooker recipes. You need to make sure that it has enough water. The other thing that can happen is if there's too much liquid good. It can get a little mushy sometimes, but I actually don't mind mushy rice at all. I kind of really like it. So if that happens, I don't care, but that's just something to keep in mind if that texture bothers you. I cooked that for 3 hours on low, and I'm taking out the chicken breast, and then I'm going to add in that bechamel. I would recommend warming the bechamel and thinning it slightly with a little bit of milk. I think that would make a better texture, but as I mentioned before, I was exhausted here and I just wanted to get food on the table, so I just threw it right in there. It still tasted really great. It was super creamy, but you could most definitely thin that if you prefer that texture. Then I just placed the chicken breast right on top, garnished it with a little bit of salt and pepper and freeze-dried herbs, and this made a really delicious and very easy lunch. Now, because there's nothing in with the pork chops, it's just that broth and the pork chops, I just let them cook until I got around to it. So they were in there for like 5 or 6 hours. I'm taking the pork chops out and then I'm straining the broth. So that broth ended up getting a lot of fat and little particles in it. So I'm just straining it through a fine mesh strainer so that way it's nice and clear. And then once I did that, I just brought it to a boil and added in that bechamel. Here, I did not have enough bechamel to make that amount of broth thick. So I also added in a flour slurry. And that's the nice thing. You can always add in a slurry if you need to or if you just want to. So I added some flour and milk together, poured it in there, and then I just heated it until it was thickened to my liking. And you can make that as thick or as thin as you'd like. And my husband and I both agreed that this definitely had the taste of a cream of mushroom soup, but of course without the canned flavor and without the mushrooms. It was delicious. And my husband ate that entire pork chop and a little bit of extra gravy between lunch and dinner. So if you find yourself wanting to cut back on the amount of canned soups that you use, or if you just don't have any and you want to make some recipes like this in a pinch, these are some really easy ways that you can make delicious, creamy, slow cooker recipes without canned soup. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you again next time.